Do not go anywhere. We are joined by the world number one in FPL. Max from Northern England, Blackburn, has been in the top 10 since game week 17. And he's here today exclusively revealing his team, his chip strategy. The assistant manager chip is going to take a lot of focus. Is he on Slot or Moyes? Well, stay tuned to find out. Look at his transfers. Welcome to the show, FPL Northern. Follow him on X. Max, welcome to the show, mate. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you very much for having me. As soon as I saw your DM, I was thinking, yes, like that sounds good. Looking forward to being on that. Big fan of your content and everything you do. So yeah, I was really buzzing to come on.
Oh, that's very kind of you to say, mate. I'm having an absolute nightmare of a season, so it's lovely to talk to someone that's flying. And boy, are you flying! Let's get straight into it. Like, if I look at your season to date, you've been. I mean, you had an okay start. Game week 1, you're around 2 million. But that game week 2, you go from 2 million to like top 20k.
That's crazy, isn't it?
That was 100. How many points? 118 points. You can see there, top right of the screen, 118 points. That had a lot to do with triple captaining Erling Haaland, didn't it?
It did, yeah. It had triple captain Haaland, and also having Salah at the same time was a pretty lethal duo.
So you start the season with a 2 big hitter approach, and those that are on really good ranks at the moment, a lot of them didn't do that. That was clearly the play, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I know obviously at the start of the season, wasn't there? Over the summer, everyone was thinking, looking at the price points and thinking you have to go with one or the other. But I just thought you can't leave out 2 of them. They're so good and they get you so many points. And went with both. And I went with Trent as well. So it was quite an expensive team. And then I filled it out with, your cheap defenders who have, in my eyes, been sort of like stars of the show for me. Your Ainas, your Aït-Nouris, players like that. And yeah, it was a very good game week too. I enjoyed that one.
Any differentials you started the season with that had big success? I mean, you mentioned Aina there. So many haven't had Nottingham Forest defence all season, let alone sort of from early doors. But they've kept so many clean sheets, and Aina's been amazing this year. Any others sort of jump out?
From the first game week, I'm pretty certain it was. I mean, I don't want to use the word template, but it was. I mean, apart from the 2 big players at the same time, I had Chris Wood. I think I started with Isaac. I think I fell into the Quansah trap, unfortunately, and I think I started him, and he got his 1 point in the first game week. Over the course of the season, though, I've had players. I mean, like I had Ashley Young, I think for 6 weeks. I know over those 6 weeks got me 60 points or something like that. I mean, I was there for his, I think it was his 15 pointer one night, and I didn't even realize that I put him in the team. And then that night I was getting lots of texts in the group chat saying, I can't believe you saw Jamie. I can't believe you've got him in the team. And I was like, what's he done? And I realized he's a clean sheet and he scored a goal. It was, I enjoyed that one as well.
That is, good going. The likes of Aina and Young have done so well. I mean, I see you went then game week 3, like you're 2K, and before you know it, you're on a double-digit ranking game 4, and then it takes you back to, I don't know, game week 14 when you're on the double-digit rank again. But you've been in the top 10, for some time now. You're looking at like it's game week 17. Have you been consciously always looking at your overall rank? Like, just tell us, you've always played for mini league success. So this season's been very different with looking at overall rank. When have you been properly engaged with that?
I think, to be honest, I don't think I've even really thought about it until I'd say probably game week 13, where I was still just thinking, I was looking at the overall rank going, oh, that's funny, isn't it? That's funny. I'm, top 200 to whatever it was. And still just talking to my mates saying, we're going to beat each other in our mini league. Didn't really think about it. I think until then it got into, like say, double-digit game rank, and I thought, oh, this could be something. This is quite, interesting. And then especially when it got to game week 17, you get to 5th in the world, and I'm thinking, wow, this is something now. And then it's just I managed to stay in the top 10 and have now somehow managed to get to 1st, and it's crazy.
Mate, that is ridiculous. I can't wait to see your team. We can see your team from last week did really well, but I can't wait to see your team, which we're going to show in the next 5 minutes, guys. So stay tuned for that. Before we talk about your team, though, I feel like we've got to talk about chip strategy. If you are watching this vid and enjoying it, guys, I would love you to like and subscribe. Do subscribe if you're new around here. But also, more than anything, I'd like you to go follow Max. Like, you've probably not come across Max much before. This is his first season where he's sort of publicly got an X account for the first time only in the last few weeks. So you can follow Max on X at FPL Northern. So check him out. And you're on the BBC podcast in the week. Like, he's going to be around for a while. I'd like to think so. Mate, tell us about your chip strategy, because you were looking at assistant manager chip before the Friday news. Friday news has come in, and you're probably over the line with it, aren't you? You're committing.
I think, like I said to you before, I've the news came out today, but I've been at work all day. I didn't even see what was going on, and then I checked my phone at lunchtime, and I saw that everyone was sort of talking about something that was going on. I couldn't really make sense of what was happening. Everyone was sort of just like, it was utter chaos. People talking about, Schlott and then going into double Fulham. So I eventually found out, it looks like we're going to have a back-to-back double. But my chip strategy has always been that I was going to play an assistant manager this week. I was going to then hopefully dead end into game week 29 with transfers, trying to save up a few for a blank. Then wild card 30, and then a bench boost 30. I think it was 34, 36, one of those ones. And that's been the plan. But now definitely, like you say, going to go for the assistant manager with David Moyes at the moment. Yeah, 100%. I
like that. And you're from Manchester. You're in Manchester at the moment, from Blackburn. Your neck of the woods. Moyes, you've seen at United. You've obviously Liverpool, not too far from you. Do you reckon it helps being a really good FPL manager by not having a Premier League team? Or do you have a Premier League team? I know you're a Blackburn fan, but do you follow any Premier League team, or you just have your favourite players?
I mean, I think it gives me that bit of that outside perspective. I'm not sort of swayed by allegiances or anything like that. I mean, I love the Premier League. I love watching it. I've always watched it. Used to have a season ticket at Blackburn when they were in the Premier League.
Showing your age now, mate. I remember.
Exactly. It's been a while. I mean, I was there for when we got relegated, and that was a bad night. But I think, I live quite near to Man City, so I'm a bit, I have a bit of allegiance to City. I've gone to a couple of games, but I think it has helped me to be sort of not swayed by any sort of influences and have sort of a level head when it comes to picking players.
Yeah, I think that always helps. I let emotion get the better of me with Chelsea at times. Like, I went into the festive period with triple Chelsea attack: Jackson, Enzo, and Palmer, and then when I scored, like, what was it, something like 3 goals over 5 games, it was like, whoa. Palmer got the ball. Jackson was a dud.
I can't honestly. I can't even speak about Nicholas Jackson. The things that guy's done to me this season. The hope and faith I've put into him, and he's not repaid me at all.
Hey, you're in no position to get the violin out. You've had a lot of stuff go right.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
Mate, tell me about the double game week then in 25, because you're assistant manager on Moyes. You're then going to transfer very likely to get to, I'm guessing, you're not going to be going slot because you've got triple Liverpool. We'll see a team in a second. You'll be going to assistant manager Silva, Postecoglou, or Emery, depending on the outcome of those games. Now, the bookies have Liverpool about 70% likely to reach the cup final. They think they'll overturn the 1-0 deficit. If they do, Emery's a really nice option, isn't he? Because Ipswich at home could be a banker for Villa, but Liverpool at home, cause for an upset. We've seen it before under Emery at Villa Park.
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, you've just watching them in the Champions League this week against Celtic. They look good. I know obviously there's a bit of speculation with Ollie Watkins. Is that playing into anything? Is that going to affect the team morale, team mood, anything like that? But when I was originally looking at the assistant manager chip, it was going to go originally in my mind. It was going to go Moyes and then go to Irola. I always pronounce that wrong. Irola at Bournemouth, go there and then
so
and then see how it goes. But now I think definitely I'm fingers crossed. I'm hoping it's going to be Fulham having a double, because I really like Fulham's a team. I think those fixtures, Forest at home, Spurs at home, I think they're really good, especially the Forest and the potential for the bonus points there. But yeah, I think they all look really good. I mean, I would happily go to either Fulham, Arsenal, Villa, Spurs. I'm not too sure. I mean, United and Fulham. I mean, there's there's bonus point potential there, isn't there? But I'm not too sure.
I would love to be able to go silver. I think Fulham Forest is the biggest single fixture I've seen where I go straight away. That's good for bonus. And like Fulham will go into that game as slight favourites because of the home advantage and recent form, I think. Not taking away anything from what Forest have done, but there are 5 places between them in the table. There will be by this game, but I can't see Spurs knocking Liverpool out. So I think it will be Emery for me. Emery is 0.8. I think Silver's 1.1. I'll be able to reach. I won't be able to reach Silver. So again, that's fairly interesting in itself. Arsenal reaching the EFL Cup final is pretty slim. They were about 50% likely, and Newcastle 85% likely. Again, we're using bookies odds, not set in stone. The Newcastle double that will happen because of the 29 fixtures won't drop into 25. This is really interesting. That will likely drop into 33. If you've still got your triple captainship, Isak 33 will likely play Aston Villa Crystal Palace if Newcastle reach the final. So again, that works. But that's loads on chip strategy. Let's have a look at what we're here for, because we are here to mainly see a team. Like, it's been great to recap on assistant managers, and we'll maybe come back to it at the end of the show. But the big stuff is we've got the world number one here. His ranks are down the right hand side of the screen, and you've got decisions to make. Have you made any transfers this week? Because I know you've currently got 1.7 in the bank and 1 free.
Well, my sort of my strategy for this season actually has been to think less about fantasy football and sort of go for more gut instincts. So I have been actually setting alarms 30 minutes before deadlines, and that's usually when I make my transfers and make decisions. Yep. Now that I'm in the position I am thinking about it now. I'm thinking a bit more about what's going on. I've not made any transfers yet. I don't particularly like to make early transfers, even if it's chasing, value and, price differences and price changes. I've not done that. I've not done that at all this season, and my team value is pretty good. So clearly, it's not had that much of an effect on it. But yeah, currently the team's looking decent. I don't really want to make any transfers. I'm tempted to try and save up quite a few just in case there's any needs for maybe a blank in 29. I also want to potentially, after this game week, change assistant managers. I want to get in a Bournemouth midfielder, so that would take up 2 transfers. So I'm currently looking at rolling and leaving it, but the way the team's shaping up, I think looking at it as it is on the screen might be how it is. I'm not set in stone yet. Gabriel on that third bench position is scaring me. Currently looking, I think I will leave it as it is, but there could be some changes in this evening, tomorrow morning, possibly.
I like that. You should be keeping your cards close to your chest when you 12 one as well. But I see no reason again to use a transfer necessarily. I'm going to ask you in a second about Gakpo, because just from your team on Twitter, and it's now a public view, and people will analyse your team and always give you their 2 pence worth, right or wrong. I'm sure you're always keen to listen. And I want to ask you in a second about what a lot of people were saying, and the very sort of the template seems to be moving towards: if you own 3 Liverpool players, you sell the third asset, who's not named Salah or Trent Alexander-Arnold, and you make enough money to get to Arne Slot, because we might get the double. So I'm going to ask you on your thoughts on that, because I know people have commented on your team saying sell Gakpo to Slot. I've had the same with mine, and I own Gakpo, and I'm currently on Moyes. So we'll get your take on that in just a second. But I want to just give a shout out to today's sponsor, because they are the football app out there. If you're not already on OneFootball, guys, get on it. Scan the QR code on screen, and the app goes straight to your homepage on your phone. I'm on football news day and night. I'm sure you are, Max. Like, you're a football fan first, FPL fan second. But if you're up to date with football, it helps you with your FPL. So all the Premier League stats are on there, Champions League stats, but all the news, video clips. I watch 3-minute highlights of each game on this app. So yeah, get downloading, guys, and give it a go. You won't regret it. Of course, it's free. And thank you, OneFootball, for always supporting the channel. Right, let's get back to matters with a deadline. Liverpool get a double of Everton, Bournemouth, both away from home, and then potentially, likely, a double of Wolves at home, Villa away. It's 3 away games, but it is Liverpool. They've lost once.
Yeah.
It's 6 points for a slot win, but it's not actually 6 because if they win, they've scored goals or kept clean sheets both. So the worst case scenario win, I think, is 8. It would be a 2-1 win. A 3-1 win would be 9. A 4-1 win would be 10 points. So let's say you get 8 points. It's the same pretty much as a bonus point draw.
Yeah.
Although you can have goals in that one too. How do you feel about going out against the template? Because every content creator seems to be saying, which means a lot will follow, you should be going on a slot and selling a Cody Gakpo.
I will not be selling Cody Gakpo. There's no way that Cody Gakpo is leaving my team for the potential to go to Arne Slot. I just can't see me burning a transfer in my eyes to do that. If I was in the position where I didn't have triple Liverpool, I probably would go for Slot because that, like I say, the potential for double is fantastic. There's some good games in there, and I could see them probably winning all 4 of them really realistically. But yeah, I think to burn the transfer on Gakpo to then go to Slot, wouldn't do it. If it was like an Alisson, maybe a Konate, that's maybe a different story. Depends on, I think it's team dependent, isn't it? Depends on what defenders and goalkeepers you have. It depends who you can bring in. That would be a conversation to have, but I just see, Gakpo. I mean, he looked great against Ipswich. He looks really, really good. I'll definitely be keeping him.
You could argue Gakpo, he ain't going to match Slot. Like the manager is the most powerful of the squad because he benefits no matter who scores the goals or wins the game, whether it's Salah, Trent, Gakpo, or anyone. But you could argue Gakpo in Bournemouth, Everton, Wolves, and let's assume Aston Villa comes in as a double in those 4 games. You could say, I think Cody Gakpo starts all 4, but let's say he starts 3 and gets a 30-minute cameo. He gets really good minutes, and across that, he gets 2-3 attacking returns. Most of them will come with bonus because he's a forward, and if forwards score, they're so well rewarded. He won't be far off Slot if he does produce the goods, and he has just had a 16-pointer. We know the stats. Away from home, Gakpo's not been great. But we also know the stats. Gakpo hadn't had a mega haul this season until last game week. Like, Gakpo is flying.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that stat being put on Twitter with people saying, he hasn't had the haul, and then he literally has the haul. I do enjoy that.
It was like, I mean, I don't want to talk about my experience with Phil Foden. All my subscribers know it, but Foden was like, I was told for buying Foden, what you want about? Like, Foden's rubbish. He's been poor. I bought him. He got a 6 and an 8. I then stupidly sold him, and he got a 19 and a 16 or whatever it was. Like, out of nowhere, quality players for quality teams can haul, and they can haul in a big way. And Cody Gakpo is such a dangerous sell because he will. I'd be surprised if he didn't start versus Bournemouth, but he's going to start 3 of the next 4. And actually, I think in the Premier League, he started 11 on the bounce. Like, he has been nailed. And we know the others were rested in the Champions League, and Gakpo travelled against his old club. He was always going to. Off at 52, and Gakpo didn't play against Lille the game before that when all the others did. So I think we're good. And obviously that Plymouth game gives cause for a rest before Everton, where Gakpo won't kill Salah. So you're firmly in the camp of don't go Slot if you've got Gakpo, Trent, and Salah, which is the 3 we've all got. We've both got. I think it has to be, Allison, you'd consider it.
It would be a conversation. I think it'd have to be a conversation just to sort of, I'd have to think about that.
Other transfers in your team? I'm looking at players to go, are there any potential transfers out? And I just wonder, I mean, someone like a Sarr doesn't need an urgent care now because he's on your bench. But next week when we know who's doubling, I guess you'll be looking at that going, I could get a Smith Rowe in a double because Fulham double, or I could get a whoever, Kulusevski because Spurs double, or he's one, I guess, on the chopping block. Any others like Chris Wood? Is he a long-term hold?
Chris Wood has, I think I've had Chris Wood all season. I'm pretty certain I've not sold him once. I'm certain I had him in the first game week and he was there. if I had the funds last week, I would have done Wood to Gakpo, and I would have kept Ollie Watkins
Yes.
if I could have, and that would have been fantastic. Didn't have the funds. I think it was maybe 0.2 short. I'm tempted to get rid of Wood. I think I'm going to watch it against Brighton this weekend, see how they get on. Hopefully that last game was a bit of a blip and they can sort of, regain the form. And I mean, Wood is this season is just such an anomaly. The fact that his XG has been so low and he's completely outscored that, it feels like he can score out of anything. He can make a chance out of anything. So what they're currently holding Wood, no pun intended, Ismail Assar.
Yeah.
I think, originally I was looking for a Bournemouth midfielder. I was tempted to get rid, but now, like I say, with a double, could go to maybe, a doubling team's sort of budget midfielder, but we'll have to see who's doubling there.
It's going to be hard because the best budget mids we're all going to want to buy next week are going to be Bournemouth budget mids. Dango Ouattara at 5 or Semenyo Kluivert for 5.6, 5.7, and they don't double, but they do have Southampton. So we're about to enter a really difficult time in FPL where we're going against, do we target a good single game week player versus a not so good double game week player? Do we take hits and attack doubles? Do we chill out and think about rolling because game week 29 is going to be a big blank and we're going to have lots of players blanking in 29? I currently have 7. I'm looking at 29, thinking now that might be a free hit week because I'm going to be using transfers on assistant managers, not my actual team. And the plan was to use it on my actual team and not free hit in 29. So it's really interesting, isn't it?
I think it's going to be, like I say, an interesting couple of weeks, which is always fun in FPL. It's good when people have different players and have different teams, and it's spices things up a bit, doesn't it? I think that's going to be good. People are going to have to make big decisions, like you say. Are you in one camp? Are you in the other? And I think it's going to hopefully bring out a bit more individuality in some people and pick some, some rogue picks. And I think there's definitely going to be some big shifts in overall rankings in the next few weeks.
Yeah, there is. Matt, I want to ask you, it wouldn't be an FPL intro. This is your debut on my channel. And I think the first sort of YouTube video. So thank you, mate, so much for coming on. Thank you very much. Notice. But I've got to ask you about Erling Haaland because you started the season with him. You clearly dropped him at the right time. I can tell that just from your ranks.
Yeah.
Do you have you've said about living close to City, Etihad. Do you have like a plan to get him in, or do you look ahead and go, when can I accommodate him? Have you got any sort of loose thoughts on Man City attacking Haaland in particular?
I think currently, watching the Chelsea game the other week, I'm really hoping that Marmoush is going to get a good run of games because he looked fantastic. He looked like he was absolutely over everything. He was probably a bit overzealous when he stopped Bernardo Silva tapping in the first goal, but he looks like he was really, really hungry to prove himself. And I think he could be, an exciting player to have who, I don't want to say cover Haaland, but I mean, on current form, current points projection, he probably could cover him because Haaland's not, he's not hauling every single week now, is he? It always be dependent on if City start to look like the proper City team that they are, then I would happily bring him back in because, like I say, he can score 3-4 goals in one game. But currently, there's no plans to bring him back in. Even looking at the fixtures, I think City's fixtures become slightly trickier at the moment. I think just from the top of my head,
I think around 28, 29, then they turn good again.
Yeah, so I'm just hoping I'll give it a couple of more weeks, and I'm really hoping that Marmoush, looks settled in the team and is a starter, and that's a player that I can see myself going for because just from giving it the eye test, he looks really, really good.
Yeah, he does. That was it. I was shocked. Pep never buys an attacking player other than Erling Haaland and puts them straight in the 11.
No, it's exactly.
To integrate players usually. Even when established players, let alone ones that never played in the league. And he chucked straight in off what? Was it 2 days he had been at the club?
I think it was,
one or 2 training sessions. It was mental. So, and he got 70 minutes and was 7 million forward. So yeah, I'm with you there. Marmoush is firmly on my radar too, on my watch list for sure.
Yeah.
Any closing thoughts on your team and any particular shout outs you want to give?
I think the team's been doing me good. My my actual Twitter account has got a picture of Ola Aina, so I'm hoping that he can, get some good points again this week.
Can't sell him then. Can't sell him all season.
I can't sell Aina. Aina has to stay. I mean, I'm quite tempted to sell him, but there's the
I might be
Spires
selling Sells this week as well. I hear you.
Yeah. I mean, I think Sells to Pickford could be a nice little move there. Definitely.
That was my plan before assistant manager came in. I was going to sell João Pedro to Vissa.
Yeah.
And Sells to Pickford with 2 frees, but now I'm just thinking about how many transfers I want to use, and
that
might be a luxury, knowing I'm. But yeah, sorry, that was on my team. Let's get back to yours.
I'm looking forward to a wild card. I think I'm looking forward to refreshing the team and changing out a couple of players. I don't like Gabriel anymore. I really want him gone. I think the price is just too much for what he's producing at the moment. But yeah, we're getting into the fun. Yeah,
I love you said that, because everyone loves Gabriel, and I sold him 4 or 5 weeks ago, and he went on in a game of 4 games without a clean sheet. Yeah. And Arsenal were brilliant, and Gabriel's great, but for the price point, there are 4.5 million defenders. You've got a couple in your team, Aina, Hall, Robinson, that are producing the same output as Gabriel at 6.234. We talk about Gabriel going to score a header every week. He doesn't. He averages 3 goals, 4 goals max a season. He might get 4 or 5. He does not score 1 in 2. He scores 1 in 10.
Yeah, but maybe when Arsenal get back to full fitness, when Saka's back and they're all looking, they're firing all cylinders, maybe then it's another case when bring him back in. But at the moment, I just, like I said, majority of the season, I have gone for really, really, the proper budget defenders, 4.5 defenders for all of them. Gabriel was more of a recent pickup in the past sort of, I'd say, 10 game weeks, which sounds like a long time, but in FPL, it's really not. But I hate having expensive defenders. I really can't see the value in them.
You've done very well this season, because it has been a year overall where the expensive defenders haven't necessarily produced, and loads of those 4.5 to 5 guys, as we've just mentioned, you've got 3 of them in your team, Aina, Hall and Robinson, and there's a few others that have produced such good output. That's awesome. I'd love to have you back on to find out
100%,
your game week 24, but plans for 25. Thank you so much for joining me, and I can't stress
thank you very much.
Go and follow Max on Twitter, because 1, I think your tweets are really funny, and
Thank
2,
you.
I want an insight into your team, because you've come out of nowhere and you've gone top 10 from game week 17. That is elite level management, and I reckon, just talking to you, you've got a very good chance of having an elite finish. You're going to have an elite finish, but a top 10 is on the cards, and you could go and win it, mate. Fingers crossed.
Oh, like I say, I think I said to a couple of people, that people always say you always aim for the sky. You want to improve, and they're always up. But currently, I'm happy to stay exactly where I am and not move at all.
Mate, we had FPL Guns, Ali Hangarov 2 years ago, made his YouTube debut on this channel around about this time, around about game week 22, 23, I think it was. He was currently world number 1 or 2, I can't remember. He ended up winning it. So it was a good omen only 2 years ago. And he's a good friend of mine now. He's in the members-only WhatsApp group. He watches all these streams. You could go do an Ali. I reckon you can, mate. Good luck.
I'll be very happy to follow in those footsteps, definitely.
Nice, mate. Thank you so much for joining, and thank you everyone for watching. Drop your comments below. One of us will try and get back to you. No expectation for you two, Max. I check the comments all the time. I'll be looking at them tomorrow morning. On your way out, though, please do like and also subscribe to the channel if you've enjoyed it. We'll look forward to hopefully having Max back very, very soon. Guys, thank you for watching. Good luck this game week. Fingers crossed for a big David Moyes win. Come on.
100%. Thank you very much.